Hi guys, welcome to my channel where I talk about my life. If you watched my videos before, may have noticed my name has changed. I've changed it because I feel like before it was just my initials, and what does that mean? That means nothing. So at least now when you look at my YouTube name, you know exactly what my channel is about. So that's why I've changed it. I've also, that's a good segue into, I'm also going to be putting out videos on Mondays now too, and I'm calling them Mommy Mondays, and I'm just going to put like videos about what I do as far as motherhood, mommy stuff. But on the weekends, they'll continue to be IO and clinical psych related videos like they have been. So today's video is about basically what do I do that is IO related. So I get that a lot, like what do I do with both degrees, or what do I plan to do with both degrees? I get that question all the time. So right now what I'm doing is I'm a clinical counselor. I work with children who are in foster care or kinship care, and I provide trauma counseling to them. So I'm a child trauma counselor, or we just call them trauma specialists at my job. And for the IO aspect, I am a project coordinator. So what that basically means is I do projects, which is like what I wanted to do. That was like my vision, as far as if I have to work for somebody else, this is what I want to do. So that is what I'm doing. I work for a nonprofit organization, so there is a lot of flexibility in what I am able to offer, what I can do. It came down to when I was last looking for a job this last time, it came down to two. It came down to this job and another, and the other job was strictly just a counseling job. It was a big company, and I believe, well, yeah, no, it was a big company and it had lots of hospitals and things like that. So it would have been great experience and everything, but the job is only counseling, and I have 2 degrees. I mean, I have more than 2 degrees, but I have the IO and I have the clinical, and I want to do both. That is one of the reasons I left my previous counseling job. And so with the other interview with where I work now, I ask questions about, would I be able to do research? Because that's like something that I'm really passionate about, and applying research and things like that. And the answer was basically yes. And I asked, like, what kind of projects do you need me to do? And she said, I have some projects in mind, but honestly, if you have projects, that's great. Basically giving me a lot of creative freedom and a lot of scientific freedom, I guess I'll say, to really use my research and IO skills. And so that is the selling point for me when a leader tells me that I have creative freedom, or that I can do, different projects, and there's just like the sky is the limit, basically, is what she said in the interview. So that like really sold me to joining the organization. So that is what I do in a nutshell as far as like the clinical and the IO. I just started, so I think I've been there for 2 months now. So I'm still learning a lot of things about the organization. I'm also helping to fill somebody else's role while she's on maternity leave at the same time. And you get that a lot with, like, when you're working in a nonprofit, there's a lot of moving pieces and, doing this sometimes and doing that other times, and just kind of stepping into different roles. Some of the projects and clinical things that I'm excited about that I've recently been given are support group. So I helped when I was an intern there 3 years ago. I helped them create a support group as an intern, and so they still have that support group has been really well. I've been doing really well, and so they're letting me co-lead it, co-facilitate it with a social worker that's on our team, and I'm super excited about that. And I am also excited about measuring the effectiveness of our support group. How effective is it at giving those like physical and emotional and mental supports that people need. Apparently it's doing really well because we had really good turnouts with it, and people like really enjoyed it, so I'm assuming that the results are good. But I like to do the data, I like to know, I like to see the data. And that also helps with grants, because people, when they're giving money to something, they want to know that it is effective. So I'm really excited to do that type of stuff. But because I have that kind of creative freedom where I can kind of basically decide as far as projects go what I'm doing, like she said, the sky is the limit. I can really think about a lot of things. There are a few things off the top of my head that I'm really interested in doing. Like I said, making sure that the support group is effective, that there's data to back that up, but also like our counseling services, seeing how effective those are over time. That's something that I'm interested in as well. But then also our like program, like different program components that we offer, and how effective are we at meeting that mission statement that we have, you know? So there's a lot of different things that I'm interested in. They do have like a team already that does the onboarding and all that stuff, so I don't have to be involved in any of that. But if I had an idea or something like that, I'm sure I could pitch it and see what happens. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing now in the IO and clinical field. Long term, I'm thinking, I mean, plans always change, so I never like to say, like, put my plans out there, because I change my mind, things come up, I have a child now, and that kind of changed my vision of what 2021 would look like for me. So, like for example, I thought I would be working where I previously worked, and I'd be working my other job as an executive director of another nonprofit at the same time, over the course of a few years. But that didn't happen because I had a child and my needs changed, so I had to leave those positions and find a different opportunity, and I found it. So I have a loose structure of goals that I wanna, or not goals, but like, well, I have goals, but what I mean is I have a loose structure of a vision that I want for the next 10 years. However, like I said, things change. So I'm always really flexible with how life goes, because I've seen what happens when I'm not flexible, and it just causes stress for no reason. It doesn't need to be stressful. If you're just flexible, life is easier. So anyways, that was my little spiel on what I do with my IO and counseling degree. If you have any questions about any of that, please let me know, comment, and yeah, thank you for watching.